Have you ever wondered why some people work hard for years, but never reach the level of success they dream about? Why do some people try, struggle, and repeat, but still stay stuck in the same place? Here is a truth most people never hear. Success is rarely destroyed by big disasters, but almost always destroyed by small, invisible habits. Silent habits, hidden behaviors, unnoticed patterns. These silent killers work slowly, quietly, patiently. Day by day, they weaken your mindset, your discipline, your energy, and your dreams. Until one morning you wake up and realize you are far behind where you wanted to be. But here is the good news. When you expose these silent killers, you take back your power. When you recognize them, you can defeat them. When you defeat them, your life begins to rise, naturally, consistently, and powerfully. So today, let's uncover the 7 silent killers of success, the hidden forces that secretly sabotage people's goals, growth, and greatness. 1. The silent killer of tomorrow thinking. Tomorrow is the most dangerous word in the world. At first it feels harmless, soft, even comforting. It sounds like a promise, a chance to prepare, a way to reassure yourself that you will act. But not yet. And yet, behind its gentle disguise lies a trap that has destroyed more dreams than failure ever could. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," you're giving yourself permission to delay. You tell yourself that your goals, ambitions, and desires can wait, and in doing so, you slowly surrender the very life you want. It is a silent thief, stealing your potential while you remain blissfully unaware. The danger of tomorrow thinking is that it never feels like a major mistake. It does not hit you suddenly, like a failure or a harsh rejection. Instead, it creeps in quietly, disguised as reason and caution. "I need more time to prepare," you tell yourself. "I'm not ready yet. I'll do better if I wait for the right moment." These thoughts are familiar because they feel safe. They do not challenge your comfort, and they allow you to stay in the zone where nothing changes. But comfort is the enemy of growth. And waiting for the perfect conditions is the enemy of progress. The problem is that those small delays multiply. One tomorrow becomes a habit, and a habit becomes a pattern. 10 tomorrows turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, months turn into years. And before you know it, the life you imagined, the goals you dreamed of, is no longer something you actively chase. It is quietly transformed into regret. You might even look back one day and ask, "Why didn't I start sooner?" But by then, the moment to begin with energy, passion, and confidence is gone. Tomorrow thinking does not just postpone your actions, it postpones your future. The truth is simple but powerful. Success is not built in waiting rooms. It does not arrive for those who linger in hesitation. The difference between a dreamer and a doer is not talent or luck. It is timing and action. Dreamers wait, hoping that circumstances will align, that inspiration will strike, that confidence will appear. Doers start anyway, imperfectly, hesitantly, but relentlessly. They understand that momentum begins with motion, not perfection. They take the first step even when the road is unclear, because action creates clarity. Waiting, no matter how justified it feels, does not. Consider the stories of people who achieved great success. Most did not wait until they had everything figured out. They did not wait for the ideal moment when conditions were perfect. They began with what they had, where they were, and who they were. They understood that progress grows from consistent effort, not from ideal timing. And while the world around them hesitated, they moved, and every small step compounded into extraordinary results. Your own path can be the same, but only if you stop believing in the myth of tomorrow and start believing in the power of now. You don't need to feel ready. You don't need every plan perfectly drawn. You don't need the stars to align. You only need to begin. Start small if you must, but start. Even tiny steps create movement, even minor progress builds confidence, and even small victories over procrastination train your mind and body to act. The act of beginning transforms uncertainty into experience, hesitation into courage, and fear into momentum. So remember this: when you hear the word tomorrow in your mind, challenge it. Ask yourself, why not today? Take ownership of your time, your goals, and your life. Every day you start is a day you reclaim from regret. Every moment you act is a moment you move closer to your dreams. Because the difference between waiting and winning is not luck, talent, or even resources. It is the courage to act today. Dreamers wait. Doers start. Which one will you choose? 2. The silent killer of low-energy environments. Your environment shapes your future far more than motivation ever could. You might have massive dreams, unshakable goals, and powerful ambition, but if your surroundings slowly drain your energy, your dreams quietly die. Many people think success depends solely on talent, hard work, or luck. But the truth is, the people you spend time with, the spaces you inhabit, and the daily conditions you live in silently shape your mindset, your decisions, and your potential. An environment that seems harmless or ordinary can actually be a silent killer of growth, stealing your focus, ambition, and momentum without you even realizing it. A low-energy environment doesn't always mean obvious toxicity or overtly negative people. It doesn't have to be loud arguments, abusive behaviors, or chaotic chaos. Sometimes the danger lies in subtle, invisible factors that slowly erode your drive. Maybe it's a home full of distractions where your attention constantly drifts from your goals. Maybe it's friends who have no vision and no ambition, whose conversations revolve only around comfort, gossip, or complaints. Maybe it's a daily routine with no structure, where hours pass without meaningful work or personal growth. Maybe it's a lifestyle with no discipline, clutter, noise, or endless indulgence that keeps you trapped in mediocrity. Even people who seem supportive but pressure you to stay normal or don't overthink things can unknowingly limit your potential. These invisible pressures quietly convince your mind that it is safer to stay small, safe, and predictable. Most people drastically underestimate how deeply their surroundings affect their energy and focus. You cannot grow in a place that constantly drains you. You cannot rise when the people around you normalize laziness or mediocrity. You cannot think big in a room where small thinking is the standard. Human beings are highly influenced by the norms, habits, and behaviors of those they spend time with. Over time, these influences create unconscious patterns, shaping your identity, your mindset, and your future. What once was a choice becomes a habit, and what once was a habit becomes your normal life. That is how success quietly dies. To understand this more clearly, look at the patterns in your daily life. If you surround yourself with lazy people, laziness begins to feel normal. If you surround yourself with unambitious people, settling for small goals becomes normal. If you surround yourself with constant complainers, negativity becomes the default. Your brain doesn't actively resist these norms. It adapts. It starts accepting mediocrity, distraction, and limitation as reality. And before you realize it, your energy, enthusiasm, and vision have been quietly worn down by forces that seemed harmless at first. This is why some people, despite talent, intelligence, or skill, never reach the heights they dream of. They are trapped in environments that subconsciously train them to stay small. The good news is that this silent killer can be defeated. The solution is not to wait for circumstances to magically improve, nor to hope for people around you to change. You must take control. Change your environment. Not someday, not next year, now. Begin by identifying what drains you and what lifts you. Remove distractions. Reduce contact with those who subtly discourage ambition. Seek spaces that energize your mind, body, and spirit. Surround yourself with people who inspire, challenge, and motivate you. Build routines that cultivate focus, discipline, and growth. Make your surroundings a reflection of the person you want to become, not the person you were yesterday. Even small changes create huge results. Moving to a quieter space, reorganizing your home, setting boundaries with energy-draining people, or spending more time with mentors and ambitious peers can create a ripple effect in your life. Your habits improve. Your mindset shifts. Your energy grows. And once your environment is aligned with your goals, you will find that motivation comes naturally, focus sharpens, and action flows with ease. Success doesn't have to feel like a struggle when the world around you supports it. Protect your energy. Protect your growth. Build a space where your dreams feel not just possible, but inevitable. Remember, success does not just come from working harder. It comes from living smarter, choosing wisely, and creating conditions that allow your potential to thrive. The environment you accept today is the future you inherit tomorrow. Remove what drains you, protect what empowers you, and intentionally design your surroundings so that they lift, inspire, and fuel the person you are becoming. When you do this, you don't just survive, you thrive. Low-energy environments might be silent killers, but the right environment can be your strongest ally, silently pushing you toward greatness day by day, moment by moment. 3. The silent killer of overthinking and doubt. Overthinking is one of the quietest yet most powerful killers of success. It often masquerades as careful planning, intelligence, or wisdom, but in reality, it is fear disguised as reasoning. Overthinking is the art of creating problems that do not exist. It is the storm inside your mind that quietly builds walls around your goals, paralyzes your actions, and slowly erodes your confidence. While the world moves forward, the overthinker stands still, trapped in a loop of endless what-ifs and maybe I shouldn'ts. Overthinking does not solve problems. It delays action, creates doubt, and often leads to missed opportunities. The danger of overthinking is that it feels productive. You tell yourself you are being cautious, analyzing options, weighing risks. You wait for clarity, for certainty, for the perfect plan, or the right sign to appear. You tell yourself, I will do it when I am ready. But here is the truth. Clarity comes from action. Confidence comes from action. Progress comes from action. Waiting for the perfect moment is an illusion, because perfect moments almost never exist. The person who waits often waits forever, watching others succeed while they remain stuck in their own mind. Consider the stories of some of the most successful people in the world. Most of them started without knowing everything, without having all the answers, and without perfect timing. They simply began. Steve Jobs did not wait until he had all the resources to start Apple. J.K. Rowling did not pause until she had the perfect publisher lined up for Harry Potter. Every great success story starts with someone who acted despite uncertainty, who embraced the discomfort of the unknown, and who dared to try even when fear whispered otherwise. Action, no matter how imperfect, produces results. Overthinking produces only hesitation. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is fear masquerading as wisdom. Your mind tries to protect you from failure, rejection, or embarrassment. But in doing so, it often traps you in inaction. You begin to believe that thinking more, analyzing more, and delaying more will protect you, when in reality, it prevents you from moving forward at all. Overthinking steals time, energy, and opportunity. It creates a false sense of control, while in reality, control comes from engagement, learning, and experience, not endless speculation. The solution to overthinking is simple but not easy. Action. You do not need perfect decisions. You do not need a 5-year plan before you take the first step. You do not need certainty. You need courage. You need movement. You need willingness to try, to fail, and to learn. Each small action breaks the paralysis created by overthinking. Each attempt builds confidence. Each failure teaches lessons that no amount of thinking could ever provide. The key is to start where you are, with what you have, and to keep moving forward. Take the shot. Speak up. Apply. Start. Try. Do. Act. Even a small action creates momentum, and momentum produces clarity, skill, and confidence. A wrong decision can always be fixed, adjusted, or learned from. But a decision never made cannot be fixed, changed, or improved. Inaction is permanent if repeated over time. Overthinking does not just delay results, it quietly undermines your self-belief, making each next step harder than the last. It builds a prison out of your own mind, a prison whose walls are invisible yet unbreakable unless you act. Think about your own life. How many times have you stopped yourself from pursuing an opportunity because you overanalyzed it? How many ideas died in your mind before they were even tested? Every time you hesitate out of fear or doubt, you give the world a chance to pass you by. The successful understand that thinking alone will never get you there. They know that the courage to act, even imperfectly, is the foundation of achievement. They know that mistakes are inevitable, but stagnation is optional. Overthinking may be silent, but it can be defeated. Begin by taking small, deliberate actions today. Make a decision, send that email, start that project, speak that truth, or try that new skill. Step into the discomfort and notice how action slowly quiets the storm in your mind. Build a habit of movement and watch your confidence grow. Every step forward breaks the chains of doubt and builds the bridge to success. Remember this: you can fix a wrong decision, but you cannot fix no decision. Take action now. The world rewards those who act, not those who only think. 4. The silent killer of unchecked comfort. Comfort is one of life's most seductive traps. It feels warm, safe, familiar, and reassuring. It whispers promises of rest, ease, and peace, and for that reason, most people never recognize it as a danger. But comfort, as pleasant as it feels in the moment, is one of the silent killers of success. It is beautiful, but deadly. It lulls you into a state of inactivity, slowly eroding ambition, dulling creativity, and softening the drive needed to achieve greatness. The most dangerous thing about comfort is that it does not appear as a threat. It does not shout. It does not demand attention. Instead, it quietly keeps you small, content, and stagnant while the world moves ahead. People do not fail because they are weak or lacking potential. Most fail because they have become comfortable. They settle for what feels easy, predictable, and safe. Comfort removes urgency, kills ambition, and tells the mind to slow down. It says, "You're fine. Don't push. Don't try. Don't risk it. Stay where you are." And so, dreams that once burned brightly are dimmed. Goals that once seemed attainable drift further away, not because of external obstacles, but because the individual has ceased to challenge themselves. Comfort does not build skill, resilience, or vision. It erodes them. Success, on the other hand, begins at the edge of discomfort. Growth does not happen in places that are easy, familiar, or predictable. It begins where things feel unfamiliar, difficult, and even intimidating. Your comfort zone is not a protective shield. It is a cage. It doesn't keep you safe. It keeps you small. Every time you avoid challenge, delay action, or choose ease over effort, your potential shrinks. Every time you let comfort dictate your decisions, your dreams drift further away. The world does not reward comfort. It rewards courage, effort, and the willingness to step into the unknown. Look at the lives of the most successful people in the world. They all share one powerful trait. They voluntarily embrace discomfort. They seek challenges, not ease. They train themselves to handle pressure, to work harder than those around them, and to persist when circumstances are difficult. Elon Musk, for example, worked relentless hours building Tesla and SpaceX, facing uncertainty, criticism, and financial risk, none of which were comfortable. Oprah Winfrey endured personal hardships and professional obstacles, yet she consistently chose growth over comfort. Every major breakthrough in their lives came from stepping into situations that were uncomfortable, demanding, and sometimes painful. Yet it was precisely that discomfort that strengthened their character, sharpened their skills, and elevated their results. Comfort in the present often leads to discomfort in the future. If you spend years avoiding challenge, procrastinating, or choosing ease, life eventually forces growth through struggle, regret, or lost opportunities. Conversely, intentional discomfort today, choosing effort over ease, challenge over stagnation, learning over passivity, creates a future of strength, opportunity, and fulfillment. The key difference lies in control. If you embrace challenge voluntarily, you shape your destiny. If you avoid it, life shapes your destiny for you, and usually not in your favor. Choosing. At growth over ease, progress over pleasure, and strength over comfort is not easy. It requires awareness, discipline, and courage. It means intentionally doing things that feel hard, speaking up when it is uncomfortable, learning new skills despite initial failure, taking risks others avoid, pushing your body and mind beyond familiar limits, and consistently practicing self-discipline. The small daily choices, getting up early, saying no to distractions, facing challenges head-on, compound into a life of extraordinary potential. Every step outside your comfort zone builds resilience, confidence, and competence. Every time you avoid comfort, you expand your boundaries and reclaim control over your future. Ultimately, comfort becomes deadly when it prevents you from becoming the person you are capable of being. Success is not built by avoiding discomfort. It is built by seeking it strategically, leaning into difficulty, and intentionally choosing the path that makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable. If your life feels too easy today, your future will feel unnecessarily hard. If you challenge yourself now, embrace effort, and push through discomfort, your future will feel empowered, confident, and full of opportunity. Comfort is silent, but its effects are profound. Recognize it, confront it, and transform it into your ally by stepping courageously into growth. In this way, the quiet danger of comfort becomes the very force that fuels your success. 5. The silent killer of lack of daily systems. Most people fail not because their goals are too big, but because their systems are too weak. It is easy to dream, to set ambitions, and to imagine a successful life. But without a daily system to guide your actions, those dreams remain just that, dreams. A goal tells you what you want. A system tells you how to get it. One defines your destination, the other lays out the path. Without a system, motivation alone is unreliable. Some days it is high, other days it is low. Without consistent action, even the strongest drive can fade, leaving your ambitions unfulfilled. Anyone can set a goal. You can say, I'll lose weight, I'll study more, I'll improve my skills, I'll make more money, or I'll build a business. These statements sound promising and inspiring, but on their own, they are simply wishes. A goal without a system is like trying to cross a river without a bridge. You may have the desire to reach the other side, but the path is unclear, unstable, and risky. Systems, on the other hand, create structure, discipline, and predictability. They turn small, consistent actions into habits, habits into routines, and routines into results. A strong system makes success automatic, even when motivation wanes. Consider a learning system. Instead of simply saying, I want to read more, design a routine that ensures it happens. Commit to 30 minutes of reading every morning, 20 pages every night, weekly revisions, and monthly expansions into new topics. By breaking learning into consistent, manageable steps, you remove reliance on fleeting motivation. Similarly, a system for health could include daily movement, balanced nutrition, sufficient water intake, and a proper sleep routine. These small, repeated actions build your health steadily over time, rather than leaving it to chance or sporadic effort. The same applies to income or skill building. Weekly practice, consistent output, skill improvement, and progress tracking are all systems that compound over time. Success is rarely built in large, dramatic leaps. It is constructed from daily patterns, small steps repeated with discipline. One day of exercise, one day of studying, or one small act of improvement may seem insignificant, but repeated over weeks, months, and years, these actions accumulate into extraordinary results. Systems create momentum, and momentum breeds confidence. Confidence produces results. Without a system, you rely entirely on willpower, which is inconsistent and fragile. You're at the mercy of your emotions, energy levels, and external distractions. With a strong system, however, you can maintain progress even on the days when you feel exhausted, stressed, or unmotivated. The system carries you forward and action becomes automatic. The power of systems also lies in their ability to reduce stress and decision fatigue. When your routines and habits are clearly defined, your brain does not have to constantly decide what to do next. You conserve energy for creativity, problem-solving, and execution rather than spending it on small choices. Systems provide clarity and focus. They allow you to know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. This removes uncertainty, builds reliability, and ensures that progress is inevitable as long as you follow the plan. Small, repeated actions become unstoppable forces over time. Without a strong system, even the most ambitious goals are fragile. Motivation collapses, distractions take over, and excuses multiply. But with a well-designed system, even the days of low energy or doubt cannot stop you. The system becomes your safety net, your guide, and your engine for progress. Every successful individual understands this principle, whether they consciously realize it or not. They build structures, routines, and habits that move them forward daily. They understand that consistency outweighs intensity, and small, deliberate actions outweigh random bursts of effort. Systems transform chaos into order, dreams into plans, and plans into achievements. Remember this: success is not a matter of occasional brilliance, luck, or talent. It is the product of consistent, disciplined action over time. Systems are the silent framework behind every accomplishment, turning ordinary efforts into extraordinary results. Build your systems, follow them with discipline, and watch as momentum, confidence, and success naturally flow into your life. Without systems, even the strongest dreams remain fragile. With them, even the most ordinary days can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Your future is created not by what you hope for, but by what you consistently do. 6. The silent killer of neglected self-respect. Neglected self-respect is one of the most invisible, yet most devastating killers of success. Unlike obvious obstacles such as lack of resources or external failure, this killer works quietly from within. It erodes your confidence, drains your motivation, and slowly weakens your capacity to achieve your goals. People often lose success long before they lose hope, not because they lack talent or opportunity, but because they lose respect for themselves. Once self-respect diminishes, everything becomes harder. Discipline falters, consistency disappears, focus slips away, and even the smallest challenges feel overwhelming. Self-respect is built in a deceptively simple way, through keeping promises to yourself. Every commitment you honor, no matter how small, sends a clear message to your brain. You are trustworthy, capable, and reliable. Conversely, every promise you break, every goal you abandon, every commitment you neglect communicates the opposite. Your words mean nothing and your efforts are meaningless. For instance, when you tell yourself you will start a project, exercise, or wake up early, but fail to follow through, your mind begins to internalize doubt and mistrust. You are no longer a reliable guide for yourself, and without trust in your own word, discipline, motivation, and confidence start to crumble. The consequences of neglecting self-respect extend far beyond simple frustration. Your brain begins to perceive challenges as heavier than they really are. Goals that once inspired you now feel burdensome. Motivation dwindles because your mind has learned that promises are optional and effort is not guaranteed to produce results. Every new opportunity begins to feel risky, not because it truly is, but because you no longer fully believe in your ability to follow through. Courage fades, and even small tasks seem insurmountable. Without self-respect, your internal foundation cracks, and everything built on it, ambition, confidence, discipline, focus, starts to wobble. The good news is that self-respect can be rebuilt, but not through sudden, dramatic achievements. It grows incrementally, through small, consistent actions that reinforce trust in yourself. Start by making tiny promises that are realistic and achievable, and keep them without fail. This could mean reading for 10 minutes each day, doing 5 minutes of exercise, dedicating 20 minutes to learning, maintaining 30 minutes of focused work, or committing to one small improvement daily. These actions may seem minor, but they carry a powerful effect. Every commitment kept strengthens your internal trust, gradually rebuilding the foundation of self-respect that fuels ambition and achievement. As you honor these small commitments consistently, something remarkable happens. Your confidence rises, not because of external validation, but because you have proven to yourself that you are reliable. Your self-trust strengthens, creating a sense of inner stability that allows you to face challenges with courage. Your identity begins to shift. You are no longer someone who procrastinates, hesitates, or abandons goals. You become someone who acts, who persists, and who honors commitments. And when your identity changes, your life changes. The world begins to respond to your increased capability and confidence. Opportunities feel attainable, risks feel manageable, and motivation flows naturally because you no longer doubt your ability to follow through. The journey to rebuild self-respect is simple, but requires discipline and awareness. Every day is an opportunity to honor yourself through action. Even small steps matter, because success is cumulative. Just as neglecting self-respect erodes progress silently over time, consistently respecting yourself strengthens your foundation and accelerates growth. Eventually, the confidence, focus, and courage that emerge from self-respect become your greatest allies in achieving lasting success. The silent killer of neglected self-respect may have slowed you, but once you consciously rebuild it, it becomes one of the most powerful forces in your life, guiding, motivating, and propelling you forward. Remember, success begins the moment you honor yourself, not with grand gestures, but with tiny, consistent commitments kept faithfully. Self-respect is the bridge between intention and achievement. Keep your promises to yourself no matter how small. Rebuild trust in your own word. Strengthen your identity. And watch as your entire life transforms, not through luck, not through talent, but through the unshakable foundation of respect you cultivate within yourself. 7. The silent killer of bad inner voice. The last silent killer of success lives not in your environment, not in your habits, not even in your goals. It lives inside your own mind. It is your negative inner voice, a subtle but powerful force that can quietly sabotage your ambitions, destroy your confidence, and prevent you from reaching your potential. Unlike external obstacles, which you can see and often avoid, this killer hides in your thoughts, disguised as self-reflection, caution, or realistic thinking. It whispers doubts, fears, and criticism so subtly that you might not even notice it, until one day you realize that it has shaped your life more than any external circumstance ever could. This inner voice can say many things. You're not good enough. You will fail. People will laugh. You're too late. You don't deserve it. You're not ready. You should give up. Each phrase may feel harmless at first, like a passing thought or moment of self-doubt, but repeated over time, these words gain power. They seep into your subconscious, coloring how you see yourself and your abilities. Eventually, this voice begins to dictate your decisions and actions. The moment you start believing it, you stop trying. The moment you stop trying, progress halts, and success quietly disappears. The danger of a negative inner voice is that it controls your emotions and your actions without anyone else even knowing. It shapes how you respond to challenges, how you approach opportunities, and even how you define your identity. Someone with immense talent can fail if their inner voice constantly tells them they are not enough. Someone with a brilliant idea can never act on it if their inner dialogue convinces them it will fail. Your inner voice determines how much energy, courage, and persistence you bring to every task, big or small. It can either empower you or imprison you. Here is an essential truth. You do not need a perfectly positive mind to succeed. You do not need to feel confident every day, nor do you need every thought to be uplifting. What you need is a supportive mind. A mind that encourages, guides, and strengthens you in moments of doubt. A supportive inner voice does not ignore challenges. It acknowledges them while reminding you of your ability to overcome them. It says, "Try again. You can improve. You're learning. You're getting stronger. Keep going. One step at a time." These words may seem small, but repeated consistently, they have the power to transform your confidence, your courage, and your results. Your inner voice can be your greatest enemy or your most powerful coach. The choice is yours. You can let it criticize, doubt, and demoralize you, or you can train it to support, guide, and motivate you. This requires awareness, patience, and deliberate effort. You must notice when negative thoughts arise, challenge them, and replace them with constructive, empowering alternatives. Over time, your mind learns to respond differently. Every repeated positive affirmation, every small reframing of doubt, strengthens this inner coach. It becomes a habit that fuels resilience, focus, and consistent action. Treat yourself with the same kindness you would give someone you love. Encourage yourself the way you would encourage a friend facing a challenge. Believe in your potential, even when circumstances seem difficult. Support yourself with patience and compassion. You deserve that kindness. You deserve that belief. You deserve that support. The way you talk to yourself directly affects your actions, your choices, and ultimately, your results. A positive inner dialogue does not guarantee instant success, but it does guarantee that you will persist long enough to reach it. In conclusion, your inner voice is one of the most powerful yet overlooked forces in your life. It can quietly sabotage your progress or propel you to extraordinary achievements. By training it, guiding it, strengthening it, and rewriting it, you can transform a silent killer into your greatest ally. Every thought, every word, every phrase you allow in your mind is shaping your reality. Choose wisely, speak kindly, believe fiercely, and remember, your mind is not just a place for thoughts, it is the engine of your success. Final conclusion, the awakening. These 7 silent killers, tomorrow. Thinking, low-energy environments, overthinking, unchecked comfort, lack of daily systems, broken self-respect, and a negative inner voice, do not destroy you all at once. They do not appear suddenly like a storm that sweeps everything away. Instead, they work quietly, subtly, and invisibly. They chip away at your focus, drain your energy, weaken your courage, dissolve your discipline, cloud your direction, and dim your hope. One small piece at a time. Often, you don't even notice the damage until your dreams feel distant, your motivation feels fragile, and your confidence feels broken. That is the power and the danger of silent killers. But here is the awakening. Once you see them, understand them, and recognize how they operate, you hold the power to overcome them. Awareness is the first step. Action is the second. Success begins the moment you stop allowing these silent forces to control your mind, your habits, and your life. Change starts with one small action. Build one habit. Break one destructive pattern. Take one intentional step forward. Momentum is created through consistent effort, and even the tiniest positive step can spark unstoppable growth. Remember this: success is not built in a single day, but it always begins in one day, and that day is today. Today is the day you reclaim control of your mind, your time, and your life. Today is the day you rise above what holds you back. Today is the day you prove to yourself that growth, achievement, and fulfillment are not distant dreams. They are your choice, your responsibility, and your reality. Start now. One step, one habit, one decision at a time. Because every great journey begins the moment you decide to move forward, and today is the perfect day to begin. And if you want more strategies, motivation, and insights to keep you moving forward every day, subscribe to our channel. Join a community committed to growth, action, and unstoppable success. Together, we rise.